All right. Well, I'm going to try to clean up the inside of this with the door being off all these months. It's gotten pretty dirty inside. All that's going to have to be cleaned up. Now the floor where I put some sheet metal down, I'm always worried about maybe it's going to flex a little at the bottom. It shouldn't. With the hitch on it and stuff, should keep it all together, but just be on the safe side, I'm going to put this bar inside these. I'm going to have to hammer it in and then hammer it back this way. I'm going to put those in there and then weld it to make a solid joint. And that should keep the Jeep from flexing where I don't want it to flex. And then I got a lot of screws. I don't know if you can really see them. I got a lot of screws sticking up through the floor. I'm going to have to trim those down with the grinder. And then have to figure out some kind of insulation to put up. I know there's a few spots that I'm going to have to put some foam in. But I don't know. We'll see how it goes. Because with the firewall all fiberglassed up, I may not really have to do anything else except put some insulation up. Keep out the cold or the heat on those extreme days. After all, this is Arizona. 90% of the time it's too hot. About 5% of the time it's too cold. And the other 15% is perfect. Alright, I'm going to get to work. I'll show it to you when that part is done. Well, I went and cut those screws off. So that part is done. So that's going to be a lot better. So the rest of this will be covered up with some kind of a foam insulation. Haven't decided yet what I'm going to use. While I was at it, I went out and cut out these two bolts. I think they were for the seat, or they could maybe have been for the seat belts. I'm not really sure, but I thought about keeping them. Maybe I could bolt something onto them later, but I just went ahead and cut them off. So when I do lay down the insulation for the flooring, it'll be one less obstacle for me to go around. I'll get back to you at the next part. Okay, well, I put that bar in. I welded a little bolt on the side of it there so that I can hammer it back and forth, and it actually went in pretty easy. But now I got to take it back out, clean it up where the welds are going to go, and put it back in and weld it up. So this was just a test fit. It went in pretty easy. Hopefully it'll come out easy and then go back in easy and weld up easy. Alright, that's one step. Well, I've decided to take that corrugated metal off of there. I didn't really like the way it looked. So instead, I put this it's a real thin sheet of plywood on there. I don't know what the thickness is, but as you can see, it's really thin. This won't really show. I don't know if you can see, but I do have insulation underneath it. The plywood itself won't show. I'm planning on fiberglassing over it next. And then I'm going to paint it black to match the front of the firewall here. Puppies like to wrestle too much. But anyway, yeah, that's what I'm going to do. And the sides where has a big gap, but you can see inside the insulation pretty much covers it. I'm just going to fiberglass all this smooth. And that'll be my next step. I'll get back to you when that's done. Just got the fiberglass mat laid on it. Got more work to do. Well, this is what I decided to go with. I got a piece of plywood behind there with some insulation behind the plywood. And then I put some resin over the plywood, some fiberglass resin, put a fiberglass cloth over it, and then the fiberglass resin on the cloth. This is my second coat of fiberglass resin. It's a little bit chilly today, about 65 degrees. I know it should be 70 or above, but I figured it's pretty much in the sunlight. And I put these heat lamps out just to kind of help out. There's one over there. I know that there's a few bubbles in it, but I'm hoping the fiberglass will harden up enough where I can sand them out. If not, I'll have to patch it up with some more fiberglass angel hair and smooth it out that way. And remember, this doesn't have to be perfect. I'm not a body person by any means. I just dabble in it. And this is probably only my second or third time ever messing with fiberglass. So I know there's a lot of experts out there. If you have any positive comments, please, leave them below, and I'll try to answer anything that you ask, or might take your advice if you have some good advice on what I should be doing. Now remember, a lot of this is not going to be showing. I do plan on smoothing it out with the line sander, and then I'm going to paint it black. The Jeep is currently blue, but I plan on painting that a flat black also. So hopefully it'll all blend in. And don't forget, also, I mentioned earlier, I do have that box that's going to be covering probably a little bit more than half of this. So, not looking for perfection. I'm just looking for it to work. If you enjoyed this, please give me a like. You know what to do if you like it. I would appreciate it, and I thank you all very much. I'll get back to you at the next step. Well, this is a second coat of fiberglass. Kind of ran out of the resin there for the bottom, so starting to lose daylight, so it'll probably have to be tomorrow. I'll get some in and put some more on there, but it's getting there. See you at the next step.